let's get right down to it, sir. You're in acquisition mode. Are you going to buy the Bank of Moscow?
Yes, we have plans. We submit our proposal, and we think it's going to be a good deal both for the government of Moscow and for VTB.
But have they accepted your proposal?
Well, we're now in the process of negotiations.
How much are you offering?
Well, I think a good market price.
A good market price. So, Bank of Moscow today is trading at about $7 billion.
Well, I will not comment particularly on this, but I think that will be a market deal, definitely.
It'll be a market deal, so it would be around $7 billion.
Well, I mean, it's too early to say, but there's still the due diligence process and some other things which are important to complete before making any. Because, you know, the trading, there's only 3% stake is traded. So,
it's
I mean,
very small float.
It's very small. You can't really rely on this estimation.
Well, what about the minority shareholders who say or have said that it's worth $9 billion?
Well, yeah, it's too early to comment. I think there should be a due diligence process, and there should be a fair price. I mean,
let me ask you about this. I just want to be devil's advocate for a second. You said that obviously the seller in this case of the stake is the Bank of Moscow. It's effectively an arm of the Russian government. Is it right? Is it good for one arm of the Russian state to be selling to another arm?
Well, it's not the arm of the Russian government, I would say. Of course, that's the local government of Moscow, and they don't
appointed by the Kremlin.
And frankly speaking, they don't have the majority stake
46%
anyway. And so I think we're not looking at it from the point of view of actually being government or non-government. As you know, the government recently announced that they will be selling VTB itself, and the majority stake of VTB within the next midterm will become private.
I know, but my
so
question
our role is in consolidating the Russian banking sector, which I think is quite important.
But my question is, don't those minority shareholders deserve the right to an auction?
Absolutely.
To an auction.
No, I mean, the minority shareholder have all the rights according to the Russian law.
I want to ask you about concerns in general about the banking sector. The central bank has expressed concerns about two sort of giants, both state-controlled, appearing on the market and crowding others out. Do we not need to be concerned about that? If for example, Sberbank, your larger rival, acquires Troika Dialog, as a lot of people are talking about?
Well, I think in Russia, banking sector, one of the most competitive sector. We have nearly 1,000 banks. We have leading foreign banks like Citibank and others having activity in Russia. So I think it's quite competitive, believe me, and it's quite an open market. So I think that is provide a good service. It serves the clients of banks.
The central bank, they're going to meet on Monday. What do you expect them to do? What do you think might happen?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of debate on the interest rate in Russia, and I think that it's too early to discuss any growth of this interest rate because
there's an expectation now in the market that
big debate.
Rates.
Big debate. High rates can create problem for further growth. You see, Russia expects at least 4% GDP growth this year,
really lagging the other Brits.
On the other hand, there's concern on part of the government and central bank of the possibility of growing inflation. But if you look around the world, most of the central banks are not yet thinks the time is right to increase the rate, in order to not to break the fragile recovery process.
All right, Andrei Kostin, thank you very much.